Hey guys, Sovereign Jane Jenkins here. So, I am the author of P Policy, which is about setting boundaries and maintaining self respect, a self help book to elevate the consciousness of women in society. So, today I want to talk about an aspect of this book in which it shines a light on a mother's love. My mother's love saved me from eternally suffering in this life. The reason why is because she had that nurturing spirit that no matter what you go through in life, you can always find a way out and still find a way to succeed. It started out when she was, I want to say 38 when she had me. And when she had me, I was actually 2 months early because she was bending over picking peanuts and she almost killed me. So she nurtured me a little bit more. She had to breastfeed me once I was born in order to make up for that 2 month time period that she almost killed me. So yeah. But outside of that, at that time, she was one of those mothers like I was Velcro to her 24/7. She protected me. She made sure that I was always near her and under her wing. And when I was 4 years old, I actually nearly drowned. And right before I gave out, like I gave up fighting the water and I almost went under, she looked around and she noticed she didn't see me. And when I say the last second, when I was about to go under for the final time, because every time I would come up, I try to yell out her name, I go right back under and water would fill my mouth, so I could never get the words out. I just kept floating, and I was forced, and also I was very little and I could not really float to where I could keep my neck above water, like, because I was very tiny when I was 4 years old. So that final second when I was giving up and I had finally stopped fighting, she looked up and saw me and screamed my name, and at that moment I decided to stop fighting and I went under because I knew that she was going to save me. So, in less than a minute later, she's pulling me out the water and making sure that I was okay and that I did not swallow too much water. Now, mind you, had her mother instincts not kicked in, I would have drowned that day and I would have never made it past 4 years old. So, from that day on, my mother became my savior and my saving grace. No matter how much trauma I experienced, no matter what I went through, no matter who left my life, my mother was my savior. And having that experience that early on, it locked in the fact that I know what love is. Love is sacrificial. Love is with you through the long haul. Love sticks around no matter what happens and no matter how bad life gets. It's going to be there. It's going to nurture you. It's going to pour into you. It's going to satisfy you. It's going to fill your cup up. That's what true love is. My mother taught me the meaning of true love from when I was a very young child. So, as an adult, I can automatically identify what love is versus what lust is. I throw lust in the garbage. I know what love is, and I know when I see it and when I feel it. And that's the things that stick around. That's the things I choose to accept around me at all times. I need real love. And what I notice is when people are miserable, they don't have the capacity to love. They are pretending, they are just around you, siphoning your energy, and they are basically just in rotation and around your spirit in order to kind of get some of that and rub and let that rub off on them. But when the love is internal and you have it with you at all times, you don't care who's in your life and who's in your vicinity because you have enough love to function and make yourself feel better, or depend on what happens in your life. Even if somebody leaves your life, you're still going to be okay because you have that internal compass of love. And my mom gave that to me as a gift. That was her ultimate gift to me besides giving me life. And that's how I knew what the power of having a strong mother in my life was. And that's how I knew the power of love. Like, love is so strong, it's so powerful. It can literally pull you from the abyss and pull you back from making the worst decision of your life. And that's what happened. And I talk about it in volume 2. My mother's love pulled me back from the worst decision of my life. I mean, I was rock bottom. I was toe up. I was torn to pieces. I was shattered. But I lived. And not only did I live to tell the tale, I thrived. I grew. I chose personal development. I developed. And I chose to continuously pour into myself and nourish myself and give myself the love that my mother gave me, because I had to give myself grace because I made decisions that I should not have made. And now, as a woman that's in her later 20s, I know how to check things quicker and I know how to dismiss things quicker because of those decisions I made at an early age. I'm sharper now, I'm faster now, I'm more attuned to my needs and my self-love and my self-awareness and my self-assessment. So I don't accept anything outside of real love around me. And that comes from friends, family members, and everybody that crossed my path. I radiate love, so that's what I expect in return. And a lot of guys, they see the physical and they want to latch on to you and get to you and chase you all the way until they catch you. But the thing is, it's all lust. And you know when it switches over to love because you can feel it. But when they're operating off of lust, you can feel that too. I dismiss lust. I started dismissing lust earlier on in my 20s. I don't have time for this. And it was because of that compass that my mother gave me that I know when things are shifting towards real love. And I don't accept fake love. And I'm okay if that means being alone in this life, because alone means that I have peace and I have prosperity and I have a clear mind. And a lot of times people get in relationships because they don't have those things and they think a relationship is going to give them that, and that's going to solve the problems that they have. A relationship is not the answer to all those problems that life presents. Yes, it gets you through a certain time period and you won't be lonely, but however, if you are lacking self-love, that relationship in the long run, when it ends, it's going to destroy you and it's not going to sustain you, because you have to have that internal peace. You have to have that internal compass. You have to have that internal love for yourself and understand that life is a journey and a process, and whether someone is in your life or not, you have to have that love for yourself, and you have to be able to choose yourself and choose when something is not serving you to dismiss it, because at the end of the day, nobody is going to stay in your life and cause chaos and mayhem and truly love you. That's not what love is. Although my mother's situation between her husbands and her boyfriends was very traumatic in the beginning of my life, especially when I hit 12 or 13, I found out my father was not who my father truly was and he left my life. I realized that sometimes love is a choice, because I felt that love from my father, who I thought was my father, but he left my life so fast. Now I'm questioning what real love is. Now I'm questioning, is love from a male even possible, or is it just convenience? But my ex-stepdad had to grieve too. He had to grieve. He had to understand that I was not his child, so he had every right to walk away and leave behind the person that he raised from a baby all the way up to 13, because that paternity test said you are not the father 100%. So he was basically facing a decision to where he had to grieve the loss of a relationship, especially with a daughter that he supposedly had, and learn that, okay, I can move on from this. I can go into another relationship and leave this behind. Now, I don't know how he feels to this day, because I have not had a conversation with him that's real and that's of substance, because I feel like there was a blockage in his face. There was a mirage of fakeness when I first talked to him after the fact. But I do feel like there was love there at the end of the day at some point. And that's what gives me peace and gives me the ability to still go on and sustain myself. And guys, if you're interested in that type of narrative, P Policy Volume 1 and Volume 2, it is available on Amazon. Well, Volume 1 is. Volume 2 will be coming out this year. So, love always, Sovereign Jane Jenkins. Check it out.